Absolute Duel is an anime that tells about Koryu Academy that teaches the students to use and control Blaze. Blaze is a power to draw a weapon from the human soul. Most people have Blaze in the form of weapon like blade and other weapon that is used to attack. But the main character of this anime has a different Blaze from the others, where his Blaze is a shield. It surprises everyone. Surprisingly, he gets paired with a beautiful girl who has tremendous fighting skills in the academy. They must live and spend time together as they are a pair of absolute duo. The story begins with the main character of the story named Toru. As he walks to school, he sees a beautiful girl named Julie. On the other hand, there is another girl greets him named Emery. They walk together and get to know each other as they are freshmen in the academy. Not long after that, they arrive at the entrance ceremony and sit next to each other. Sakuya, the principal of the Koryu Academy, delivers her speech, saying that the person next to them will be their partner. In the next minute, she tells the students to fight their partner, where the winner will be the student of the Koryu Academy. Toru then asks to change his partner, but Sakuya declines it and she announced the fight to begin. It is seen the students immediately draws their Blaze and launch attack to each other. Suddenly, Toru reminds of his past where his older brother slaughtered the entire his dojo members and his brothers. Emery is seen has been ready to begin the fight against Toru. Using her Blaze in form of a sword, Emery attacks Toru, which gives a quite powerful damage. Emery launches her attack once again, but Toru manages to avoid her attack and grab her arm. Suddenly, there is a weapon flying towards them. Toru immediately uses his Blaze, a shield, to protect them. He reveals that he is an irregular, but Emery still intends to defeat him. They start fighting with their power. Finally, Toru manages to throw Emery's sword and launches his punch onto her. Sakuya then stops the battle as the time is up. After that, the students who lose at the battle walk out of the academy. Emery then advises Toru to get stronger and congratulates him for being admitted to the academy. On his way to the classroom, he feels pain in his arm as a result from his previous technique. Toru encounters his acquaintance named Tora. They then head to the class together. Arriving at the classroom, Toru chooses to sit in the back row in the corner. Everyone is surprised to see Julie walking towards Toru and chooses to sit next to him. Julie stares at Toru, but she turns her head as Toru looks at her. Finally, their homeroom teacher arrives. Her name is Rito Sensei. She then asks her students to introduce themselves. There are Tachibana, Miyabi, Tora, and Tatsu. As Toru is about to introduce himself, Rito says Toru became the hot topic because he is an irregular. Julie introduces herself to others, but she still ignores Toru. Rito distributes the academy cards, which contain pocket money by 100,000 yen. Rito goes on to explain about System Duel, where they have to live together and later after they graduate, they will work in the sit-down agent. She tells them that the official duel will be announced this week and she will arrange a temporary duel. She then tells them that the person next to them will be their partner. Toru was surprised to hear this and he stands up to against it, but Rito doesn't buy it and tells Toru to focus in fighting. The scene switches to Toru, who seems nervous as he is about to enter his room. It is quiet inside the room. It turns out Julie has had a shower just now. It makes Toru to feel awkward, but Julie doesn't buy it. After that, they introduce themselves to each other, but Julie has him cornered. It turns out she wants to learn Toru's fist technique, which he called Jolner. However, Toru explains that the technique has a dangerous effect, and he refuses it. Julie seems to feel sleepy and then puts her head on Toru's lap. Toru then carries her to the bed. The following day at school, Julie is always with Toru and has lunch together. Tachibana and Miyabi also want to join him. Tachibana asks them if they have slept together because the academy allows them to live together as they are a duo. Julie confirms it and Toru hugs her. It makes Tachibana angry. At the class, Rito explains about the noble ritual, where their weapons have current level, and its level will increase with the noble ritual, which will be held in the end of semester. But if they are unable to level up, they will be expelled from the academy. Rito then invites them to start training. On the other hand, Tachibana apologizes to Toru because she scolded Toru at lunchtime. It can be seen the students are starting to practice fighting, where Tachibana and Julie are practicing seriously, as well as Toru and Tora.
その立花と互角に立た同居人と言っても
久しぶりに思い切りやらい
や、こちらこそ。
Scene switches to the dorm. They talk about their martial arts basic. Back then, Toru learned martial arts in a dojo. Short story tells, after school, Toru asks Tora to be his duel partner, to which he agrees. Later, Toru thanks Julie for being his partner for a week. Julie tells him that she has chosen Takabana to be her duel partner. Later at night, unexpectedly, Julie sleeps on Toru's bed. She seems scared as she talks in her sleep. The next morning, Tora and Toru intend to register as a duel partner in the administration room. As they are about to declare the oath, Tachibana and Miyabi come. It turns out Takabana rejects Julie's invitation and chooses Miyabi over Julie as her partner. Toru then apologizes to Tora and hurries to look for Julie around the school and her dorm. Finally, Toru finds Julie in the clock tower. Toru walks towards her and asks her to be his duel partner and intends to protect her, to which she agrees. They then go on to declare their duel oath as a duo. In the classroom, Rito teases Toru for choosing Julie to be his official duo, which making him shy. Rito then tells the students that there will be a new blade battle which will be held in the next couple of days. Toru and Julie train themselves and practice their combat skill with their blazes. Julie always wins over Toru. Toru tells her he is still not accustomed with his shield. Julie then teaches him an attack technique with his final move. Toru then practices it and praises Julie's effective advice.
近い近い
愛で相手の攻撃をトールの右の拳に内陣トールがどうでしょうか。
だからあまり使いたくないんだ。だけど盾の使い方は。
やあ。
Scene switches to Toru's dream, where his sister was murdered and he wakes up. Shortly, the new battle will be started soon. It takes 2 hours and is located in the north area of the school. It is hoped the students can utilize the venue. The battle finally begins. Julie and Toru use their blazes. They are attacked not long after that, but they manage to defeat their opponent with a great teamwork, as well as the opponent they meet after that. They can easily defeat them with their synchronized teamwork. As they reach the corridor, they encounter Tachibana. Tachibana immediately attacks them with her weapon. Miyabi is also seen using her blaze and attacks Toru. Toru is pushed by her attack, but Miyabi runs out her energy. On the other hand, Julie manages to block Tachibana's attack easily. It makes Julie win the battle easily. As they continue their journey, they see Tora, who is knocked out. Suddenly, Rito comes forward and attacks them. Rito is seen attacking Julie and Toru aggressively, but Julie manages to block her attack. However, Rito turns to destroy Tora's blaze, making the user to faint all day long. She also intends to kill Julie and Toru. Rito's attack hits Julie, as well as her kick, which hits right at Toru's belly. But Toru still protects Julie when she is attacked. He goes on to launch his final move, which has a great damage, but he gets beaten by Rito. Rito praises Toru's strength and intends to kill him, but this time, Julie blocks her attack. Toru then attacks Rito's blaze and destroys it. The next morning, Toru and Julie celebrate their victory. Toru praises Julie because her moves combination was successful and Rito has been caught. But suddenly, Tachibana and Miyabi come and are surprised to see Toru in not proper position. Not long after that, Toru and Julie walk to school. In the classroom, Tora and Tatsuno have come to school. They wonder why Rito-sensei did that. Toru explains that it was her job. Surprisingly, Rito comes to the class to teach them, surprising Toru and his friends. At break time, Toru and friends come to meet Rito-sensei with great vigilance. Rito once again shows her aggressive nature. Toru wonders why she is here. On the other hand, Sakuya comes to meet them. They then go to the principal's room. Sakuya then explains that Rito is hired at the academy because of her ability. Sakuya allows Rito to act aggressively to reach an absolute duo. Later, Rito explains about Blaze level, where its power will increase following the increasing of the level. All of a sudden, a beautiful girl comes to the class and walks towards Toru. She then asks him to follow her and asks permission from Rito. Rito casually gives her permission. The girl then introduces herself as Lilith, a transfer student from British Academy. Lilith and Toru then go to the park and enjoy a cup of tea made by Sarah. Lilith then asks him to be her duel partner. She also reveals that she is an exception. She tells him she has heard there was an irregular in Japan, therefore she moved to Japan. She considers both of them are different from others and will be a good duel partner, which to her surprise, Toru rejects her offer. Scene switches and shows Toru is enjoying a cup of tea with Julie. Julie asks him to sleep together. She then goes to bed after that. The next morning, Toru and Julie go to the mall. They stop by at the store. Toru is fascinated to see Julie, who is trying all the clothes of her choice that makes her look gorgeous. She also buys the clothes Toru likes. After that, they enjoy their break time together. They even eat ice cream and feed each other. But unexpectedly, Julie is intoxicated by Toru's ice cream. On the other hand, Tachibana and Miyabi are watching them. But suddenly, there is a group of boys come by and begin to hit on Tomo and Miyabi whilst telling them to come with them. Tachibana stops them because they force Miyabi to come with them. Toru also comes to protect them from the boys. Much to their surprise, Lilith also comes at the scene with her riffle and immediately attacks the boys. It makes Toru recognize her blaze. The following day, everyone talks about Lilith's blaze. On the other hand, Lilith is still after Toru. Scene switches to the pool, where they are doing the noble ritual and some of them have succeeded to level up and earn power that increase drastically. Julie then tries to swim. Toru praises her good starting move, but unexpectedly, Julie cannot swim and starts drowning. Toru immediately jumps into the water and saves her. He then gives her a towel to dry herself as not to get a cold. After that, Julie asks Toru to teach her swimming. However, Toru tells her to get to the class. It turns out Toru goes to meet Lilith and tells her to get to the classroom. Lilith then asks him to go with her. They then go to the theme park. It is seen that Lilith seems happy. They try all the rides in the theme park and spend the time together. They also try a shooting monster game. In this game, Lilith's ability in using riffle looks fabulous as she likes hunting since she was a child, and it makes her to get the highest score. Later that night, it turns out there is a fireworks show. Once again, Lilith asks Toru to be her duo, but Toru declines her, saying that he already has declared oath to be Julie's duo and protects her. Hearing that, Lilith slaps him and then goes home, leaving Toru alone. Arriving at the dormitory, Toru tells Julie that Lilith invited him to be her duo, but he rejected her. Julie immediately hugs him. The following day at the classroom, Rito announces there will be a class battle against the second-year students, but before that, they will watch their senior dueling practice first. Rito explains the second-year students are mostly at second and third level, but Rito isn't worried about that as there are students that have reached level 2 in their class which might be even. This fact makes Julie and Toru more excited as they will have stronger opponents, but unexpectedly, Lilith trespasses on the second year's battle and tells them she will be the representative of her class. Surprisingly, Lilith attacks the second-year students and easily puts to sleep them all with her blaze. Seeing that, Sakuya is amazed with Lilith. Later, Lilith challenged the entire first-year class in a fight. Short story tell, the battle between Lilith and the first-year class begins. It is seen Lilith can hold all the attacks directed towards her and launches counterattacks. Toru then comes to her and apologizes for rejecting her. They promise to fight seriously. Toru manages to stop Lilith's attack, but Lilith also manages to avoid Tatsu's attacks.
安心なさい。
サバイブのために。
ラッキーだもの。こっちの方がずっと。
She then chooses to leave them and fight the others. Lilith quickly takes out everyone. Toru's group run to search her. They see many of their friends have been attacked. A moment later, Tatsu also gets shot. Toru then charges forward to attack Lilith, but she manages to escape. Julie tries to attack Lilith, but she gets hit by Lilith's attack. Tachibana comes to help, but she gets shot as well as Julie. Julie then tells Toru that she has actually imposed herself as she doesn't want to part with Toru. Toru tells her he will protect her and will be her duel partner while patting her head to calm her. It turns out Lilith sees them and she immediately launches attack to them. Toru and Julie team up to fight Lilith, but Lilith easily breaks their combo attack. Toru then launches his ultimate final move, making her to jump, avoiding his attack. Miyabi and Tora attack her, but she can avoid their attack and makes counterattack, which hits Julie. She thinks she has won, but to her surprise, Julie attacks her, making her riffle fall on the ground. The battle is not over yet, but suddenly there is a stray bullet that hits Toru. It turns out it came from a group sent by Equipment Smith. They intend to take Lilith with them. Lilith is angry at them for disturbing her, but they fire at her. On the other hand, Tora and Julie's attack can be blocked easily. The group then takes Miyabi. Seeing that, Lilith surrenders and is willing to go with them. Toru's group then decides to rescue Lilith. Toru stops them and tells them to let go of her, but the group attacks him. Toru then launches attack using his move that destroys the building.
我々には力をこの一撃振って砕やけになりわからないのか
ここのトール。
リリス
Finally, Julie and Tora manage to attack the group, as well as Toru and Lilith, who work together to take out the group, but he is seen still alive and reports to his boss. Scene switches to the infirmary and shows Toru, who is treated for his wound. All his friends come to see him. Surprisingly, Lilith visits him. She thanks him for saving her. She kisses Toru that surprised everyone and intends to make Toru fall in love with her. Scene switches to the sea, where the students are on the way to the training camp. But much to their surprise, Rito explains that they have to continue their journey to the island by swimming to reach the training location. The students are thrown to the sea. Toru carries Julie on his back as she cannot swim. Suddenly, Lilith appears with her helicopter and jumps into the sea. She approaches Toru and hugs him. Shortly, they arrive at their destination. As Toru is laying at the beach to rest after a long trip, Lilith stands on top of him, blocking the sun rays. She teases him, asking him to kiss her, but Toru refuses it and runs away. Continuing to reach the camp, they have to go through the forest. On the way, they are attacked with kunai. After that, there is a group of ninja coming towards them. It is seen that they can use blaze. They then fight the group. Lilith and Julie team up to fight the group. Julie cuts down all the woods in the forest. Lilith goes on to use her riffle. Toru manages to catch one of them. It turns out the ninja is Imari. Later that night, they are welcomed by the branch of Koryu Academy which attacked them, and they hold a party. After that, Imari explains the day after the entrance test before leaving the school gate, they were offered if they wanted to be admitted to the branch of Koryu Academy. Toru approaches Sakuya and apologizes to her for thinking bad of her in the entrance ceremony. Sakuya explains she seeks for talents for her agency that intend to reach absolute duo. Elsewhere, there are some people who are talking about a mission as their project was successful. They call it Selection Mission. After that, the students sleep in a tent. Toru wakes up in shock as he finds Julie and Lilith naked next to him. Toru walks away from them and asks them to put on their clothes. But unexpectedly, Tachibana witnesses what happened with them. The next morning, Tachibana apologizes to Toru because Julie has clarified what really happened that night. After that, they begin their training program, starting from swimming, hiking, and climbing the mountain. In the afternoon, Rito tells them tomorrow they'll have a break time. The students then dispersed. Miyabi asked Toru to talk to her and asked him to join them spending the day off with the girls at the beach. The next morning, Toru was ready to go to the beach. He is fascinated by the girls. Rito joins the girl and teases him. After that, they swim and play at the beach, enjoying their day off. After that, they go to the hot spring. Toru is shocked as he heard the girls are measuring their size. Leaving the hot spring, Miyabi pretends to sprain her leg. Imari tells Toru to carry her, which he agrees. Toru then carries her on his back, while Imari asks the girls to go first to cook for dinner. Toru and Miyabi are left behind. Miyabi asks Toru to call her with her first name. They enjoy the sunset on the horizon. Miyabi tells Toru to put her down. She takes her courage and confesses her feelings to Toru, but Toru suddenly remembers about his past, where he saw his loved one murdered. Afraid of his past, Toru rejects Miyabi. Miyabi tries to keep calm, but she cannot hold her feelings and she runs away. Elsewhere in the camp training, the students are attacked by a group of rebels. The students work together to fight the attackers. On the other hand, Lilith and Sakuya talk about the corp that attacked them called the rebels. Sakuya is also aware of Selection Mission. Lilith asks Sarah the condition of the Central Academy. Sarah explains they are also under attack from the group. Sakuya then takes out a serum and hands it in to Rito. Rito injects it and suddenly a great power appears within her. On the other hand, the students have been cornered by the corpse. Toru arrives and punches several people, but Rito appears and takes down all the attackers.
よくもうちのガター山ほどあっけど
Rito also easily escapes from them and attacks them with her blaze. Later, Rito uses her blaze hidden power, allowing her to attack her opponents from distant. Finally, Rito wins the battle, and she goes on to leave the battlefield. On the other hand, Sarah receives information from the main academy that the group has been taken down by one person, but unexpectedly, a group led by Kevin manages to break into Sakuya's room. It is revealed that Kevin is after Sakuya, who is known as Blaze Diabolica. As Kevin approaches Sakuya, Lilith tries to stop them and fires at them, but Kevin attacks them with his gun. Toru and his group talk about what happened and come to the crime scene. There, they see Lilith is knocked out. Lilith asks Toru to rescue Sakuya because Kevin has caught her. When Kevin returns to his base, Toru and Yuli succeed to break into their ship. Kevin welcomes them and the fight is ensued. Kevin manages to avoid Julie's attack and blocks Toru's punch. Toru and Julie then launch their combo attack and manage to hit Kevin's stomach. But surprisingly, Kevin is still survive and uses his new armor. Toru charges forward with his Mjolnir, but Kevin still manages to avoid it, as well as Julie, whom he threw aside. Kevin then kicks Toru's leg in Julie's stomach. As Kevin is about to finish her off, Toru comes to protect her. Kevin then beats him hard. On the other hand, Julie remembers the incident where her father was killed. She gets up and with her increasing blaze power, she attacks Kevin and easily hurts him. Kevin tries to defend her attack, but he finally is sent flying to the other side. Toru asks Julie to stop her attack, but Julie turns to point her blaze at him and she is fainted after that. It turns out Kevin is still survive after being hit by Julie's powerful attack. He reports to his boss that Sakuya has been kidnapped. However, his boss tells him it is not necessary and tells him to retreat. Kevin follows his boss's instruction and escapes. Scene moves to the branch of Koryu Academy. Sakuya returns to the school and reunites with Lilith. She tells Lilith that she is no longer wanted. After that, Lilith gets a call to attend the Rain Conference as Sakuya's prediction. The next morning, Tachibana and groups looks for Miyabi who gets lost, but Rito asks them to return to the main academy. On the way home, Toru feels annoyed because of that. Shortly, they arrive at the academy. Toru practices with Tachibana to improve his fighting skill, but Tachibana feels worried and upset because her duo is still not found. On the other hand, Sakuya calls Toru to carry out the ritual to reach level 4 because he is different from others. Toru accepts her offer, even though he doubts it at first. Sakuya then explains there will be Rain Conference, where the Rebels' founder will attend the conference. The Academy security is also strengthened. Toru approaches Lilith and asks her about Rain Conference and Equipment Smith. Lilith explains that Equipment Smith is a member of secret elite organization and a product of God-slaying corpse, which their intention is absolute do. Meanwhile, Rain is an individual group with the same goal. Shortly, the conference is starting soon. Smith has just arrived. They then discuss about absolute do. In the conference, Smith invites Sakuya to make an alliance. Tempest Judge is surprised at the alliance in the Rain, but Smith shows off his unit strength and is certain he can achieve their goal. However, Sakuya declines as they have different goal. Moreover, she says that making an alliance is not a good choice. Sakuya also talks about Smith's past who quit the agency as he lost from her grandfather. It makes Smith annoyed and he intends to clear his problem with a game, where his unit will against the students of the academy and the losers must follow his will, to which Sakuya accepts. The group of the rebels gets off the plane and is welcomed by the academy students. Surprisingly, Miyabi is present among the group and put on the rebels' armor, which makes her power increase drastically. She can easily take down the students. She also attacks Toru, which gives a great damage. Toru and group immediately use their blaze, but Miyabi attacks Tachibana and sends her flying and hurts her. After that, Toru attempts to attack her, but unfortunately, Miyabi is much stronger than him, and he can only defend himself from her attacks. His friends come to help him, but they cannot outwit her. Miyabi tells Toru that he becomes stronger is for Toru so that they will always be together. Elsewhere, the students and the rebels are clashing. Tachibana tries to fight Miyabi because she is her duo and asks Toru and group to chase Kevin, who runs away. As they arrive at the gate, they are ambushed by the rebel troops. Toru and Lilith go on to launch their attack onto them and pave the way. Finally, Toru meets Kevin and they fight until nighttime. On the other hand, Tachibana, who has begun to have cornered, tries to talk to Miyabi. She tells Miyabi that she is stronger as she dared to confess her feelings to Toru, different from herself. Thanks to Tachibana's words, Miyabi loses her control. Tachibana slaps her hard, causing her armor control to broken out. Finally, Miyabi gains her sense back. Kevin is shocked to see the notification that Miyabi has escaped. He then calls his troops and fires at Toru and Julie. Julie faints due to the attack, and Toru is badly injured, but Toru carries out the ritual, allowing him to stop the attack easily. On the other hand, Tora and Lilith succeed to break into the troops. Kevin, who sees this, tries to attack them, but Toru manages to stop him with his Aegis Desire and counterattack with Mjolnir. Smith is shocked to see his units loose from the students. After that, the members of Rain leave the conference room. Smith then beats Kevin, but Kevin manages to fight back and hurts Smith. Kevin then eats Smith's superpower called Destruction. Kevin then goes to attack Toru. Toru and Julie team up to fight Kevin, but Kevin easily outwits them with his new power. Kevin then fires at the academy and destroys the entire building. But as he tries to attack the dormitory building, Rito charges him with her power, Ouroboros, and stops his attack. On the other hand, Toru tries to protect Julie from Kevin's attack. He gets stabbed by Kevin's sword, causing him to knock out. Seeing Toru is injured, Julie gets up and her true power appears. She then attacks Kevin quickly, causing Kevin to defend himself. Kevin decides to fly, escaping from her attack. But Julie uses her power to stop him and slashes him, intending to kill him. But Toru prevents her. Julie turns to attack Toru, but fortunately, Toru stops her with his Aegis Desire. However, Julie gets stronger and keeps attacking Toru. Toru breaks the barrier and hugs her even though he is hit by Julie's sword. It brings Julie back to her sense. Kevin sees them with envy and begins to attack them. But due to Julie and Toru's belief with their duel, they manage to block Kevin's attack and release their absolute duel power. After that, Toru picks up Julie's sword and attacks Kevin, causing him to knock out. Finally, they successfully defeat Kevin. Not long after that, the academy begins to be reformed. Miyabi apologizes to Toru for what she did. After that, Toru has tea time with Lilith. Lilith reminds him to see Julie. Toru then goes to look for her and he finds her at the clock tower. Julie then tells him that her power doesn't come from her blaze. Instead, her power comes from her prayer to revenge when her father died. It is called by El Awaken, which is different from Blaze, which uses the power of soul. She then tells him that she wants to be his duo forever. Toru also wants to be her duo. He then asks her to be his duo. At that place, they once again declare their oath. Finally, Absolute Duo comes to an end.